Is it working? Yeah, it's going. It's going. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry I didn't post last night, but they're just, kind of. There really wasn't anything to say. And two, man, we're all kind of worried about these hurricanes coming through. But I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay here anyway. There's some people that are not going to be okay, but it's not going to be us. That one Franklin that was out there in the Atlantic is definitely heading north, and I hope it goes to New York, and that's what I'm rooting for. And then the other one, Ildia, or however they're pronouncing that. We're getting some outer bands of it right now. I mean, we're getting some of it right now, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna come here. And God, God, please leave those people in New Orleans alone. They've been through enough. I know they have because I've been through there, and they've had enough. So God bless, New Orleans. Let's hope it. Let it, them Texans, they handle it pretty well. Let it hit the Texans for a little bit. Let them get beat up a little bit. And they got plenty of money. Hopefully it hits the Bush family's branch, and goes there. Yeah, I'm a Republican, and I'm allowed to say that. I don't know. And that's kind of a lie. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican, a Democrat, a orc, and I'm definitely not a Hufflepuff. But I don't think it's going to come here. I'm pretty sure of it. Let's hope it don't go up into Fort Myers either. Them guys have had enough. They've had enough. I got friends there, or used to, unless they were killed by the last hurricane that went through there. I haven't heard from them since. So I wonder how many friends I lost in that one. But I warned them 20 years ago, don't fuck around with hurricanes. If a hurricane's coming, get out. Get the hell out of there, man. Grab as much water and as many kids as you can and get out. You don't ride out a hurricane, man. You're not gonna win, man. You're not, man. It's a wet nuclear bomb that will kill you. I remember I think one of the certainly one of the worst hurricanes that I've ever witnessed. In the aftermath, and I didn't go through it. I was in Louisville, Kentucky when it hit, putting on the Kentucky State Fair, and my boss's wife comes walking up to the ride. It was a Himalaya ride, and she comes up the steps and she's like, TC, because they all call me TC. The Carnies do. I know I'm telling y'all my name's Theodore and Theo, but the Carnies call me TC. But anyway. She comes up to the ride, up to the control box, and she's like, TC, don't you have family there in Homestead? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, do you know they're getting hit by a hurricane right now? I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, they're getting hit by a hurricane right now. I said, would you please run the ride? And she did. And her name was Miss Marconi. And she was a great woman. She's not with us anymore, but she was a great woman. And she took over the ride. And she's not really a ride guy. She only weighs 100 pounds and beautiful woman, just real petite and, just sweetheart all day long she was. But, she took over the ride, and I went and found the nearest payphone. And for you millennials and the ones, younger than that, payphone, you actually used to... We didn't have cell phones. We went up and we, put dimes. We carried around little black books in our pocket. And, we just called, all our phone numbers were in that. And, you just dump dimes, 10-cent pieces. I don't know if they make those anymore. And, you made phone calls. And I called my mom, and I'm like, "Are you getting hit by a hurricane?" She's like, "Yeah, man." And they all thought it was gonna hit Miami, and I went up and went and got your grandmother, and I brought her back down here, and now it's coming to shore right now. And she put the phone up to the window so I could hear it. Man, it sounded like a freight train coming through. And we talked for like maybe 10 minutes or so, and I'm like, you hunker down, get in the closet, you got water. And she's like, yeah, I tried to prepare as best I could, because my mom's been through a few hurricanes in her time. She had been through some, She's not with us anymore, but God bless her heart, I mean, my mom has been through the ringer. But, she prepared herself, she prepared herself for it as best you can for a hurricane, I guess. But she was not prepared for Hurricane Andrew. She was not. She was not prepared for that. And it destroyed it. She lived in an apartment house, and I do believe it was 2 stories. It might have been 3. I don't think it was 3. If it was 3, the whole 3rd floor was gone. When I came back to see if she was okay. And the 2nd floor was it was basically gone too. There were a couple of partition walls that might have still been there. And then on the ground floor, all the apartments were just gutted right through, except for my mom's. It was the only one. And the windows were all blown out, whatever. Her and her mother, my grandmother, they wrote it out in the hallway closet. But they lived. My grandmother would die shortly after that. Mom would go on for many years, because and Grandma was old, she lived to be, I was there when she passed away. She made it to like 80, I think, something like that. Pretty much like my mom. My mom made it to like 80. I won't make it though. I can't believe I'm still alive right now. But she made it, and I eventually went back. When we were talking, the phone got disconnected, and I didn't really talk to her by telephone, her directly by telephone, but I knew the company that she worked for. She worked for Adelphia Cable at the time, which is no longer in business. Everything's gone digital, whatever. These guys did everything off them big satellite dishes. Y'all remember them big as this pavilion satellite dishes? That's what they did, and that's how we all got cable TV or whatever. It's not cable, but I guess they use them dishes to get at the cable. And I'm not technologically advanced. I kind of know how it works, but I'm a ride guy. I get the gist of it, but I leave that spaghetti bowl stuff, that power control. I leave that to gentlemen like Mr. Alexander. I leave that stuff up to him. If he can't figure it out, ain't nobody else going to do it. It certainly isn't going to be me. I can put the satellite dish up, but wire it up, and I'll leave that to guys like Mr. Alexander and his gang. So they're very important. I don't know. There isn't much to tell, really. We're just hunkering down. As I said, Mr. Alexander and his family said, if the hurricane comes, I could camp out with them, but it hasn't come. And, I don't think we're going to need to do that. I'm not going to try to influence his family or anything. I need to give them peace. They wouldn't be able to handle me anyway. They wouldn't, man. They'd be like, dude, you're eating too much, man. I was like, where's the ice cream? How come there's no more ice cream left in the house? So I'm not going to do that to them. Because that's, I know how I am. I'll eat all the ice cream. And and the dogs will get to like me, and I'll be feeding them, bacon, and so that ain't gonna work. So I'm just not gonna do that, or not even try. I like these guys, and I don't want them to. You're fired, because I kind of like the deal we got here, and we do. But I think we're going to be okay here. I do. There was a little bit of blustery wind here. We're getting some of the outer bands of. I want to say it was called Idalia. I don't know. I'd have to go back to the Weather Channel to see what that one hurricane is. It's already in the Gulf, but it is in a northerly trajectory, and it's not coming here. We're going to be okay. I do believe all the rain that we're getting right now, which is not even that much, that's all we're going to get out of it. And God help, wherever it does make ground fall, because once it hits the Gulf of Mexico, which it already is in the Gulf of Mexico, it's going to get real strong before it hits land. And wherever it hits land, I feel sorry for them people, and we should all pray for them, to hunker down. And everybody pay attention. Everybody pay attention. I have. That's why I'm still sitting here at the preserve, because I know it's not coming here, because I've been paying attention. Now, I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. It could turn, it could make a... I've seen hurricanes do this, man. It could make a right-hand turn and catch me in this pavilion. And if that's God's will, so be it. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is. It's going to go up in the north, and all those meteorologists, whatever word they want to call themselves, people who guess which way hurricanes go, because you cannot guess which way a hurricane goes, man. You can't say, a hurricane's going to go this way. That is impossible. It is an impossible job, and you can't do it. Hurricanes are Mother Nature, and they will do as they will. So everybody, if you live near the Gulf of Mexico, be prepared, get you some water. I've already done that. Make sure nobody's looking at me, man. I've already stockpiled water all over the place, man. And a couple cans of food too. And if it does make a right-hand turn, it's a she. If she makes a right-hand turn, because Franklin's out in the Atlantic, and it's not coming here for sure. But if this Ibella, I think it's called something like that. It's a word that I would never marry. If it comes here, I'm ready for it. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure it's not coming. It's actually cooled the weather down here for me. Usually the nights for me are pretty humid and hot and no breeze, and because this preserve, it's very thick in trees. I know, and I'm sure that I've showed it to you in the daytime when the light's better. This is the first chance I've really had to make video. I'm sorry it's dark. I apologize for that. But I'm not going to turn on lights. I'm going to save all my batteries as much as I can. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save my batteries, my water, my everything, in case I do have to make a run for it. I'm going to make sure that, at least I'm going to survive. I can't save everybody. But if I can't save myself, then I can't save anybody. So, I always try to think that way. We got to save ourselves first, and then try to help other people. When I'm done with this video, I am definitely going to get down on my knees and pray to God and say, please help everybody, because this storm it's going to be bad. And wherever it goes aground, and Franklin too, when that thing goes aground, you know, a lot of people are going to get hurt and I'm sure killed, you know, because they're not going to be prepared. And even if they are prepared, they could still get killed. You know, I mean, that's, you know, that's just the way hurricanes work. They're no joke. They are not. They're